Welcome back, everybody, to our 11th episode of the Ranger Podcast. This is Emiliano.
That's Sydney.
And that's Aiden.
And today, we have a very special guest with us today. Everyone, please welcome Lexi Hendricks.
Thanks, guys.
Lexi, thank you for coming on. You've actually been wanting to come on for a while now.
I have been. I've been sitting in this room watching you guys film this podcast, and I'm always like, why don't you have me on?
It's true. It's been a long time coming.
It has been.
Well, I'm glad we could do it today.
Lexi, when did you start dancing?
Okay, so I technically started dancing when I was 1.5, but the teacher let my mom put me in the 2 to 3 year old class, even though I wasn't 2 yet. So I technically started dancing when I was 1.5.
So did you dance before you learned how to walk? I feel like 1.5 is pretty young.
I mean, I learned how to. I knew how to walk, obviously.
No doubt, man.
My sister was enrolled in classes at that dance studio, and so obviously I was like, why am I not in class? And I just wanted to dance so bad that my mom was like, can you just let her go to class? And the teachers were like, yeah, that's fine. So.
So you've always been in dance for your age?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
no, life flex, you know.
Yeah, no bragging, but I guess.
So have you always danced with people at, I guess, older than you, or have you competed with people your age?
My team, usually at the dance studio that I dance at now, I was always the youngest. Everyone was always a year older than me, and so all of them graduated last year. So I'm kind of just the only one left from the OG team, but I've always danced with people older than me.
Oh, okay. So you fell in love with dancing at a young age. What kind of was it that just brought your love for dancing? What caught your eye?
I mean, I saw my sister do it, and I was like, she looks like she's having a blast, so why can't I do that? My sister's always been my biggest role model, and so whenever I first got into dance, I was just like, this is literally the funnest thing ever. It literally brought me so much joy. I never wanted to stop dancing. I was like, Mom, can I go to dance? Can I go to dance? And my mom was like, girl, it's literally a Sunday. You're not going to dance. But I always wanted to be at dance because it just brought me so much happiness and joy.
So you've never gotten burnt out dancing?
Oh, I definitely have.
Oh. I was about to say, it just seems like you always want to dance, and I was like, I'd be getting tired just with anything that I kind of like doing.
Yeah.
So how often do you have dance practice?
Okay, so Mondays we have it 5:15 to 9:30, and then I'll go occasionally on Tuesday if I just want to take an extra class just to, improve myself. And then Wednesdays we have 5:30 to 9:30, and then Thursdays I teach a ballroom class, and then Saturdays we go 8:30 to 5:30, and then Sundays I'll have a couple little privates from 12 to 2. But that's really it.
That's having a job.
Full-time job. That's a 9 to 5 right there.
Yeah, it feels like it.
So, obviously your dancing now is a lot more complex than it was when you first started. How do you necessarily train for dancing? How do you've just given a routine and you practice it?
Yeah, okay, so our classes for the weekdays, so our Monday and Wednesday classes, they're classes. They're not necessarily rehearsal. So we have our ballet class, a tap class, hip hop class, all those things just to focus on our foundation, our technique and all that stuff. And then Saturday is when we rehearse all our dances. So I think this year I have 7 or 8 dances. So we have an hour rehearsal for all those dances. We just go through them, we clean them, we practice them. So Saturday is our day where we really focus on our competition dances, but then through the week we just practice and make sure our technique is good.
Do you have a favorite dance?
I always tell people it's how I woke up that morning. Sometimes I'll wake up and I'll be like, wow, I'm just really in a ballet mood. And then the very next day I'll be like, I hate ballet, I'm never doing it ever again. And it's just it literally depends on the day, how I'm feeling, and it also depends how I'm doing in that class. If I'm in ballet class and I'm doing awful, I'll be like, I hate ballet. But then the next day, if I'm doing great in ballet, I'll be like, wow, ballet is my favorite ever. So it really just depends how I'm doing that day.
So then how are we doing today?
I feel like today I'm in a really contemporary mode. We just got finished contemporary choreography for the past 2 days, and then we have choreography Saturday and Sunday. So I'm really in that mode right now.
So how many different styles of dance do you do?
Okay, I do ballet, tap, contemporary, lyrical, hip hop. I think I said everything. I don't know. I do a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of it. Yeah.
A lot of
it's clear.
dancing. All of those dancing styles, which one do you think has given you like the biggest challenge, I guess? Which one is like the most difficult to learn?
I would say tap is definitely the most difficult because it's like, it's either right or it's wrong. Like, if I miss a sound, like in my tap shoes, like people are going to know I missed a sound. So it's like, you have to be like right on the money every single time. And if you're not, then it's like, people are like, ooh, that's not good, or she messed up. So it's like, tap is so difficult because you also have to stay in timing with the music. But I would say I'm probably best at tap, but it definitely is the hardest to like do and like do well.
Yeah. So you've probably spent like majority of your time learning tap, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
So, you know, you've had a lot of dance competitions. Is there any competition that you did that's like sits well with you? Like I remember that forever.
Last summer we went to our nationals, which is called the Dance Awards, and I got top 24 senior female best dancers, which was like a huge accomplishment because like I beat like so many amazing dancers. If any of you guys watch Dancing with the Stars, probably don't, but it's a ballroom competition TV show, and Riley, who's like a pro this season, I beat her at nationals, and it's just like, how did I even do that? Because it's like, this girl is like famous now, and it's just like, wait, I literally beat her. So that like accomplishment has just like, I'll literally never forget that, and I will continue to tell everyone to the day I die that I got top 24 senior female best dancer. So yeah.
Well, until we get like, you know, a better top. Until we know
I
more.
mean, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Well, how do competitions work? I've always like, you've tried to explain it to me a couple of times and I never understood.
Yeah, explaining competitions to like non-dancers is really difficult, but
Calm down.
but okay, so there's a solo competition, which is like you do your solo, and then you have 4 judges, and they all give you a score out of 100, and then they drop the lowest scores judge, so you basically get a score out of 300. And then from there, they'll do like a top 10 for like just solos. But then you have your group competition where you have like different sizes. So you have like a small group, a large group, a line group, and then an extended production, and that's just based on like the size of the group. And then again, they grade you or score you on a score of 300, and then from there they'll do like a top 5 for all like those dances. But then we'll also compete based on genre. So we'll do like, they'll score like best tap, best hip hop, best ballet, all that stuff, and then you get like first place like on all of those things. So it's like really complicated, but also really simple at the same time.
So they have like awards, like after the competition they have like award ceremonies. Like
Yes.
how long do those last? Because it sounds like there's like a lot of awards.
Yeah, okay, so usually awards will start at like 10:30 to 11 on like a Friday or Saturday night after you just competed all day. And then what feels like an hour is usually like 15 to 30 minutes, but it feels like the longest, like literally thing ever, because all you want to do is just go home and sleep, but you have to go through all of these awards. But the awards does go by quicker if you win a lot. So.
Which you do. So.
Yeah.
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 Were there any dancers growing up that you like watched or kind of like modeled your dancing style after them growing up?
Yeah. I mean, obviously my sister, but I wouldn't say that I modeled my dance style after her because we're 2 completely different dancers. But there's this one girl that used to be on my team who graduated. Her name was Dasha. She's actually currently at the Juilliard School for Dance, which is like the most prestigious school like for arts possible. It's in New York City. She has been like my biggest role model ever. She's like, when I just think of a perfect dancer, like I think of Dasha. I'm just like, I just want to like be her, like emulate everything that she does. And she was definitely the first dancer on our team to like take her own style. And so whenever she like did that, I was like, whoa. And I saw her style, and she like came to be this like her own self, and then that just really inspired me to be like, you know what, like I can be my own dancer. Like I don't have to like fit into the mold of everyone else on my team. So she really inspired me.
Well, hopefully
She also
she's
went to
watching.
Wakeland, so
Oh, then never mind.
yeah,
We're
but
gonna
It's not that good.
yeah, but
Yeah.
she's not a typical Wakeland girl, so we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, she's not no.
I guess.
Yes.
Okay, so I feel like the most like iconic thing everyone thinks about when they think of dance is like dance moms.
Of course.
So like, is it anything like dance moms, or have you ever like had any encounter with dance moms?
Okay, so fun fact actually, whenever Dance Moms was before it even became a thing, Lifetime emailed my dance studio and we were gonna do like a Dance Moms Texas, but then my dance teacher said no because she was like, we're not gonna put like our students and our parents on blast, so we didn't do it. But you know, I
So
could have
you
been
coulda
famous by
been?
now. Yeah, I could have been famous, but whatever, it's fine, you know. But the only thing that is like Dance Moms is just the criticism that we get from our dance teachers. Sometimes they are constructive criticism and it comes from a place of love, but then there's those times where it's just like, why would you say that to me? And it just really hurts my soul whenever I get that criticism. It just really hurts when you're staring into that mirror and you're just like trying not to cry. But that's really the only thing that's like Dance Moms. We don't have any like Abby Lee Millers. We of course have like favorites, you know, like Maddie was a favorite on Dance Moms. We have the favorites on our teams, but nothing to like the extreme of Dance Moms. But I did compete against Chloe once when I was younger, and then everyone thought my sister was Maddie growing up. Like we would be at competitions and people would come up to my sister and ask her for pictures because she thought she was Maddie. But that's only like run-ins that I've had with the Dance Moms community.
Didn't you meet the whatever her name is? What's her name? Like the main like teacher.
Abby Lee? Yeah, she
Yeah.
was at one of our competitions actually. She was like riding around in her little motor vehicle thing. She can't walk anymore.
So, you've said you've had criticism over your dancing, but when there comes with a lot of mistakes, you're gonna have embarrassing moments on stage. What is your most embarrassing moment that you've had?
You know, it actually happened like 2 weeks ago, so this is just great. So I have never forgotten my dance on stage ever. Like my 17-year journey as a competitive dancer, never forgotten my routine ever. 2 weeks ago, doing my solo on stage, I fall. And then as soon as I fall, my brain forgets everything in my solo. I'm just standing there and I'm like, what do I do right now? And then I just like look at my dance teacher in the audience and he's like, and I'm like, and I'm like freaking out on stage trying to figure out something to do. And that was just like super embarrassing. Not for like no one even noticed. They were like, wait, you forgot it? And I was like, guys, I literally forgot my routine on stage. And like literally no one noticed, but like it was just so embarrassing for me because it's like my senior year and then I was like, you've never done this before, so it's like, how are you doing this now as a 17-year-old? Like, it was just really embarrassing.
Wait, so you clutched up? Like you went on and you didn't let anyone know that you forgot your routine?
Yeah, I mean, like, I kept going. I didn't run off the stage. I kept going. But in my head, it felt like 15 seconds that I just, like, stood there. In reality, it was, like, 1 second. But it felt like the world was literally ending, and I was so embarrassed after. But
So did you like freestyle or did you remember?
yeah, I improv'd for like I would say 10 seconds, and then I remembered something that I did in my dance. But it was really embarrassing, guys. You had to be there, promise.
It's funny because Lexi told me this story like the weekend after the competition or like the week after, and she was like, "Oh my god, it was so bad." And I was like, "Okay, like can I see?" And she shows me the clip, and I was like, "So I would not have been able to tell." So I just think it's funny how like dancers are so like, you know, caught up in it, but then
Yeah.
it's like as a viewer, like I would not be able to tell.
Yeah, we're really hard on ourselves as dancers.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Well, obviously dancing is a lot different than, you know, sports that other people do. What is something about dance that you think would like shock a lot of people?
I actually think dance is a lot more athletic than a lot of people would think, you know. I mean, I will argue to the day that I die that dance is a sport. I think dance is also an art at the same time. A lot of people don't agree with me when I say that. That's fine. Have your opinion. I will argue dance is a sport to the day I die. You know, I do 6-minute routines, and we don't get a break. We have to do all that. We have to push through. We can't give up. We have to have performance on our face at the whole entire time. You like can't give like a drop of energy. Like you have to be 100% all the time. And then like you do that dance, you run off, you change into your next costume, you're back on stage doing another 6-minute routine. So like we have to learn like 3 probably like hours of choreography, and they have to be able to be perfect on stage every single time. Like there's like no mistakes allowed. Like if you make a mistake, like it's going to be detrimental. But I think it's just a lot more athletic than you think. I think we use our bodies a lot more than people think. I mean, I just think it takes so much strength to be a dancer, and I think like if any like football player or baseball player would come take a dance class, they'd be like, whoa, like they'd wake up the next morning and be like so sore because like it is an athletic like hobby or whatever. I think.
You got something for
I
me to do?
remember. I like the first time I met Lexi. I was like, whoa, look at your calves. I was like, bro, what are you rocking for calves? And then just like
Yeah.
ever since.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
I
some
know.
big calves muscles.
I have a random question though.
Of course.
Why are they called dance companies and not just dance teams?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I don't know. We've just always grown up as like it's a company. I don't know. It's like not technically like a sports team, so it's like not that because like whenever you do like artistic stuff or like in the arts, it's called a company, not like a team. Whenever you get into like the real world, but I mean, I've always just grown up saying it's a dance company.
And also, like, okay, correct me if I'm wrong here, but like your dance company is like Next Step, right?
Mhm.
But then there's like different like teams on that, right?
Indeed, yeah, yeah.
That's what I thought.
There's
'Cause,
like by age, yeah.
Yeah. So what company do we have beef with? Y'all like ever talk trash in between competitions? You know, y'all like walk by and you're like, yeah, I hope you trip.
I mean, obviously, if there was no competition in dance, then it wouldn't truly be competitive dance. I would say there's two rival studios. We call ourselves the Trilogy. So it's Prodigy, Dance Industry, and then Next Step, which is where I go. So that's kind of like the three best studios in North Texas. So obviously we always compete against each other. We're always trying to be the best. But I mean, you know who comes out on top. So
Duh, that's why we're having
Of
you right
course.
now.
Okay, so do you plan to dance in college?
That's the $1 million question. I think I've been asked this question more times than I can count in these past 2 years. While it was my dream for a while to dance professionally, either like in Los Angeles doing like TV shows, movies, commercials, all that stuff, I did experience a lot of burnout in these past 2 years, and I just kind of realized I don't think dancing professionally is going to be in the best of my interest for my physical and mental health, so I'm deciding not to dance professionally, but I hope to join the POM team, which is a dance team where I go to college. So, yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, you'll get your fix either way.
Yeah.
Now, lastly, how do you balance school and dance? I mean, you sounded like a full-time job, and you have school on top of that. How do you balance both of those things?
Yeah, learning to balance these was something that I learned at a very young age. Of course, in elementary school, it was like learning to balance when I did my reading logs, you know, but now it's like being in AP classes, I'm also just like a really academically driven student. Like, I have the worst case of academic validation, so it's like having to find a balance, but also learning to prioritize my mental health has been like the biggest like thing, especially in high school. So it's really just like finding the moments where I can get all of my school stuff done before I have to go to dance. So it's like I get home, I immediately do my homework, so that way when I get home from dance, I'm straight to bed because I get home pretty late. So it's really just prioritizing my time, learning when I can do everything to really like maximize like all the time that I have to make sure that I have time to get everything done, but most importantly get everything done like efficiently.
So pretty much she's an academic weapon, is what I'm trying to say. To sum
Summed
everything
up
up,
version.
academic weapon. Yeah.
Any last question for Lexi, you guys?
Nah, I don't think I do.
You had one.
Yeah, nah.
Come on.
What was it?
Remember? Point to it.
We already asked that.
Well, yeah, we already had. Do you have any individual like ops, like not companies, like person, like first and last name?
Dancers you do not like.
I mean, there's obviously like the people that like are on like our rival teams that we're all just kind of like we all have silent beef with, but I would never like beef with them like in person. Like it's
you
fun. It's
don't
just like
talk
I see them
trash?
on social media and I'm just like, But then it's like in person, like we're like best friends. But it's really just because like we're competing against each other. Like we obviously want to be the best. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh my gosh, like please do better than me. Like no, obviously like I want to be the best. Like I want to beat you. But like at the end of the day, it's all love. We're all part of this dance community together. It's like we all love each other, but it's like we want to beat each other at the same time. So
Friendly little rivalry.
exactly, yeah.
Also, that's not the question I was talking about.
What was the question?
You wanted to ask her to have a dance battle.
Oh, fact. I would, but we're out of time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Oh, you were talking a big game
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah, you were saying she wasn't even that good.
Bro, look at the time. We gotta go, guys.
Well, Lexi, we want to thank you for coming on and being our first dancer to talk
Yes.
about life as a dancer.
Thank you guys.
We want to make sure you guys follow us on social media at The Ranger Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. And everyone, make it a Ranger
Make it
Day.
a Ranger Day.